your pet's ever gone missing, you'll know how worrying it can be. Sadly, that's what Diana and Bill Webber from Nantwich were going through. Their dog Rufus was stolen last September, and they're hoping a Crime Watch-style reconstruction will help find him, and they're looking for a dog to star in it. Well, Diana and Bill are along with me here with Tom Watkins from Animal Search UK as well. First of all, hello, Diana and Bill. Thanks for coming in.
Morning, John.
Nice to see you. First of all, tell us what happened.
Well, I'm quite sure a lot of people from Stoke-on-Trent already know this story because Dave Napper's run the story in the Sentinel for us. But for those people who don't know, about 10 to 3 on the Thursday, the 23rd of September, our little border terrier, who is an escape artist par excellence,
right,
followed a cat up a tree in our garden, half an acre of garden that we have fenced in. And we were too slow to catch him. So he ran up the tree, jumped into some cottage gardens, out onto the main road opposite the vets in Nantwich, Hillside Vets. So we went out to find him. And unfortunately, in the meantime, and it was only a matter of minutes, a couple in a blue Mercedes saw Rufus on the road as he'd bounced into the tyre of a little red car coming down to the house, only 100 yards from where we live. And this couple in the blue Mercedes stopped, picked Rufus up, checked he was okay. And in the meantime, a lady stopped in the lay-by opposite and saw this. And she went across the road and they said, "Is this your dog?" And she said, "No, it isn't, but there's a vet's here. They'll know who he belongs to. He's got a tag." So they said, "Oh, well, no, we'll look after him. You can go. We're dog people." And they got in the car with Rufus, and the last thing we know is they drove off with him. Now, there are some issues about that because we don't know if Rufus then jumped out of the car. They said he did. But the lady who saw Rufus and this couple say they drove off with him.
This is all very surreal, Bill, isn't it?
Yes, the couple who picked him up, I was out looking for him, and they telephoned me on my mobile, because my mobile number was on his tag, and said that they picked him up, they'd taken him in the car, they were phoning me, but he was on the wife's lap, and he jumped out of the window and escaped again. They couldn't call him back what was his name, and because they didn't know his name, and they kept asking me what his name was. So we think that because the witness did not see him jump out again, that they took him and they rang me to try and find out his name. And they said that they were then on their way to Stoke, which is why we sort of concentrated our search in the Stoke area. But there's been so much information in the papers, so many adverts, and so many people responded, but nothing positive.
We feel that if this couple in the Mercedes have nothing to hide, why haven't they been in touch with us to tell us what happened to Rufus? They must know, and therefore, why don't they just tell us where he is or what happened? He's out there somewhere. You can't lose a 2-year-old border terrier who is an absolutely... I mean, it's so rare to see long-coated blue, microchipped. Somebody knows something and is keeping him hidden.
This must all be very upsetting.
Oh, I can't tell you. It's nearly 9 months, and your life is on hold because I taught for 34 and a half years, and I promised myself a little dog when I retired, took early retirement. And Rufus was my little dog. And suddenly your whole world stops. I don't even know if Rufus is alive. And you imagine worse than could actually be happening. We've had terrible things said to us, like he's been ripped to pieces in dog fights. And, you know, we've told you about these terrible phone calls and texts from people who've laughed and said, "Oh, he's been burnt out in a car," and dreadful things have been said, and we're offering a £1,000 reward just to get him back safely.
So you've got the reward posters, but you're going to go a step further than that, aren't you?
We are, because we've had no luck, despite Dave Napper, bless him, in the Sentinel and Radio Stoke putting out the appeals. So we got in touch with Tom Watkins from Animal Search UK, who is so kind and supportive. And what he wants to do now is he'd like to stage a reenactment of the day that Rufus was stolen with a look-alike dog. And he's trying to find, as are we, a dog that could sort of step in for Rufus and be a star for the film.
OK, well, Tom Watkins is the founder of Animal Search UK. Good morning, Tom.
Good morning, John. Morning, Diana and Bill.
Good morning, Tom.
Is this an unusual story? I certainly haven't heard anything like this before.
Well, the theft of dogs, unfortunately, isn't uncommon, but a reconstruction to try and find a missing or stolen dog is the first of its kind in the UK, if not in the wider world. So we're keen to publicise Rufus as widely as we can. As Diana very clearly explained, there's been a significant amount of publicity locally, which does suggest that Rufus may now be further afield, although we are keeping our options open and having an open mind. So with the help of people like BBC Stoke and the power of the internet and YouTube, we hope to publicise a very similar looking dog quite widely with the fuller circumstances on this Crime Watch style reconstruction and get some important news about where Rufus might be.
So what does Animal Search UK do, Tom?
Well, Animal Search UK is a lost and found website primarily for missing pets, and that's how Diana and Bill got in touch with us. They posted 4 photos of Rufus on the website, and in fact any listener can actually see those 4 photos anytime they want to by visiting our website, which is animalsearchuk.co.uk. And we also have the UK's only uniformed search team for missing pets. So we offer a range of services, starting with a free website and culminating in either a search for a missing dog, where we do inquiries like the police would for a missing pet, where we have uniforms and marked cars, and we often arrange publicity in newspapers and on the radio to help expose a missing pet to the public and let them know that they're out there and needed to be found.
Tom, thank you. Stay with us if you will, and
Yes.
Diana and Bill, stay with us as well for a few moments if you can. If this is ringing any bells with you, by the way, of course, get in touch with us. It's 01782 208 008, or you can text 81333. Start your message with the word Stoke. Get in touch with us this morning here on the Stuart George Show.